Welcome to the WildStar All You Need to Know. Today you will learn all about the instances of the game, and it will start in 3, 2, 1, let's go! WildStar offers 4 different types of instance PvE content: dungeons, adventures, expeditions and raids. There is an event system in every instance. This means different missions and challenges will be displayed on the objective tracker. Some of them are optional and some others have to be done. Depending on the instance type, they could be random as well. All instances, with the exception of raids, have a medal system. Depending on how many missions and challenges your group was able to complete, you will earn a bronze, silver or gold medal at the end of the instance, by which you will get better or additional loot as well. Some challenges, which are boss specific, also grant additional loot if you defeated the encounter. You can look for other members to participate by using the content finder, with the exception of raids. If the automatic matchmaking mechanism finds a group of 5 people, you will be teleported into the instance. If you apply for a random instance, you will also get a reward satchel if your group was able to defeat the last boss. If you are in an instance via the content finder, you can use a teleport skill to leave the dungeon and teleport back by using a button in the content finder UI. If you leave a content finder group while you haven't completed the instance, you will get a debuff lasting for 50 minutes, which prevents you from queuing into the content finder again. Members of a content finder group can be kicked through a voting system. It's possible to start a vote every few minutes. In addition, the entire group could be disbanded by voting, so that no one gets the debuff. If a group member is absent, you are able to look for a new one by using the content finder, or you invite a friend who can teleport directly to the instance itself. All instances, with the exception of raids, have a rallying system. This means your character's level and gear will be scaled down to an optimal level for the instance. You will retain access to your abilities, tiers, AMPs and runes. You can only earn achievements and medals in this mode. If you enter a low-level instance with the high-level character, you can only earn loot, neither achievements or medals. If you visit an instance via the content finder, the rallying system will be activated automatically. Expeditions are scalable dungeons for 1 to 5 players. Some of them also scale with the player's level. In general, there are 3 types of expeditions. Permanent expeditions, where you earn equipment located in the different zones of Nexus or available through the content finder. Event expeditions, which are only available for holiday events like Halloween or Christmas. And finally, there are housing expeditions, which you can place on your housing plot. They offer cosmetic rewards. By the way, you aren't stuck to the heal, tank and DPS concept for this type of instance. Adventures are 5-player instances that work as dungeons do, with the exception of 2 things. First of all, the level of difficulty is lower, and the second thing is, every adventure offers a different gameplay mechanic. For example, there is a MOBA style adventure, a tower defense adventure and an adventure with a crime story. The group has to make decisions which way to go, so each one of an adventure could be different. Dungeons are dungeons like in any other MMO. You have a tank, heal and 3 DPS players, trash mobs, mini bosses and more difficult major bosses. You can visit a training dungeon from level 10, where you can learn important group mechanics. After that, the first real dungeon is for level 20 players. All instances, with the exception of raids and the first faction-specific adventure, do have a veteran mode in the endgame. That means you can visit a more difficult version to collect better gear. In general, dungeons are the hardest ones, then adventures and lastly expeditions. So the best way for new level 50 players is visit expeditions and collect some gear, visit adventures, and finally you will be able to run dungeons before you can enter a raid. At the end of each veteran adventure and dungeon, you can open a chest with a key which you can buy in the item shop. In this chest you can find a piece of equipment for your class and cosmetic items like dyes, pets or decor. In general, there are a lot of cosmetic items in every instance. In addition, every instance is the major source for rune crafting materials. As a general rule, if an item drops in an instance, the matching rune drops also in this type of instance, especially in raids. For example, if you got an item in a dungeon and you need runes for it, the best runes for it needed materials which you can find in dungeons as well. For crafters, there are schematics dropping in raids and dungeons for the master tech tree. You can also get specific materials for this schematic in this specific instance. Raids are the most difficult but also the most awesome endgame content for group PvE in WildStar. All raids were designed for 20 players and you can get the best equipment there. Like in most other MMOs, there are trash mobs, mini-bosses and major encounters. There's no medal system, but every boss has optional challenges which your group can do to get better or more loot. First of all, you will visit the genetic archive, but you have to finish a pre-quest first. You can get this quest at 50 via a comm call and you only have to finish some dungeons and do some other little stuff. That can be done quickly and you will be able to visit the first raid, assuming your equipment is good enough as well. If you defeated the last boss of the genetic archive, you can visit the second raid, DATASCAPE. There you can get the most powerful items, but there are also the most difficult encounters. Besides these two raids, there is a third one with only one encounter, which also has a hard mode. That means there are two versions of the fight, an easy one and a more challenging one. Difficulty and loot are comparable to Genetic Archive, normal mode, and DATASCAPE, hard mode. You have to finish a pre-quest as well to visit this raid, which can be accepted in the Zone ZD file. In addition to equip and other items, you will collect different currencies in instances as well. In general, you can earn RENOWN through all group activities in WildStar to buy cosmetic items and equipment with a low item level. If you visit dungeons and raids, you will also get glory, which can be used to buy equipment with a really good item level. In the endgame, you can accept daily quests for veteran expeditions, adventures and dungeons at the capital city. If you finish them, you will get elder points and a certain amount of specific currency for the instance type. It's possible to accept multiple of these quests on multiple days, so you don't have to finish them every day. Oh, and finally, I forgot one thing. During the leveling phase, there are also solo story dungeons. You can't enter them via the content finder. You will get a comm call at certain levels as a notification. They don't scale and have no medal system. In the endgame there are some more story dungeons and these have a medal system again. Now you should learn all about the instances of WildStar. So open the content finder, search for a group and get rewards. Have fun!